vote. We've got a hung parliament according to a new RNZ-Reid Research poll out this morning. We'll have the numbers for you. The left and right bloc basically neck and neck, 60 seats apiece if a vote were held tomorrow. This poll was conducted, let me tell you, well, just recently. We'll ask Thomas. He'll be across the details. He's with us now, Thomas Coughlan from Parliament. Hey, Thomas.
Morning, Ryan. Yeah, it was conducted over the last week, so it captures the Tāmaki Makaurau by-election and the Taku Te Whiris fallout, which is why I think you might have seen a wee bit of that drop attributable to the Te Pāti Māori polling drop attributable to that.
How crucial does Te Pāti Māori's success, its share of the vote, of the popular vote, versus it's the number of electorate seats that it wins? How crucial does that dynamic become when you're talking about a hung parliament?
Incredibly crucial. So at the moment, if it was just done on the vote share and Pāti Māori wins one seat, then you'd get a hung parliament. So even Stevens across both sides of the aisle. If Te Pāti Māori keeps the electorate seats it currently holds, it holds 6 of them, then they would get an overhang seat, which would tip the balance of the parliament in favour of the left-wing bloc, so giving the left the ability to form a government. Now, that's never happened to my knowledge in MMP. I don't think it has ever happened. It could be quite controversial because you could potentially see on the night the bloc that has the lower share of the party vote actually being able to form a government because of the overhang rule.
Yeah, so you would potentially have what Labour saying, vote for us in some of these seats because it could help us form a government?
Yes, well, and you've seen one of the things that Labour is saying about the Tāmaki Makaurau by-election is this sort of 2-for-1 kind of campaign that you can run there. So if you are Te Pāti Māori, you can say, look, vote for our candidate, but then give your party vote to whoever you want, probably Labour, and that way you get a 2-for-1 sort of deal. So you'd get your Te Pāti Māori candidate, but you'd also boost Labour's party vote. Now that could formalise, if that were to formalise on the campaign, and you did see like a lot of vote splitting, which you already see in the Māori electorates. There is a lot of vote splitting there. If that were to happen, then yes, you could potentially see an outcome like this, where overhang seats triggered by vote splitting in the Māori electorates leads to an outcome where the overhang is what gives the left bloc the ability to form a government.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff. Obviously, this is just a poll, and we'll have plenty more before we get to election time. What about the Labour Party and its relationship with the Māori Party? We had Hipkins on this morning. He's saying there's no place for the Taku Te Whiris stuff in any government I lead. But obviously that doesn't mean they won't, do a deal with Te Pāti Māori. They would have to in order to get into power. How allergic does the general population become to that kind of stuff? And does that lower Labour's party vote?
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting question. Some of Te Pāti Māori's, there is some polling out there from previous polls which shows that Te Pāti Māori is quite unpopular amongst non-Te Pāti Māori voters, whereas other parties, like the Greens, if you don't vote Green, you might not detest the Greens, you just might not vote for them. Whereas Te Pāti Māori is a party that as already other voters find are more inclined to be sceptical towards. That does become a problem for Labour because Labour at the moment is probably trying to win over soft national voters, people who went over to national at the last election. The Labour wants to win them back. And it might find it difficult to win those voters back if they're in bed with Te Pāti Māori. The question for Labour is, and I know it is a topic of discussion among some MPs, is whether or not the party needs to take a stronger line on Te Pāti Māori and say, look, we can't work with you if this is the way that your MPs are going to campaign.